In the last 3 months, Valve has cooked up a lot of lore for us. From Quartiro to the ARGs to the runes of the TI. Long story short, there is a lot. So get ready, we're diving into the hidden truth scattered across the cosmos. First, we'll talk about Quartiro. And my first reaction to him was, a character with a voice actor? Are we actually working on the game, Valve? Anyway, after giving us a few armor sets, he began to share his story with us. And at first, he says he was part of an adventuring party, all strong and always completing the quests with a huge success. He wasn't the mage, nor the frontliner. Instead, he was the one sitting at the back, strategizing every move and every step and supplying the party with tools and potions to help them clear each quest. And for a while everything went well until they faced a dungeon filled with skeletons. But then a mysterious
But Valve hired a professional voice actor not to hear it from your stupid storytelling shit.
اوكي fair enough. ممكن انا اعرف شو اللي جابك عندي يا زلمه. مش عاجبك الفيديو روح احضر فيديو تاني يا زلمه. سم اللي يسم بدنك.
What's the catch, my dear hero? The catch is that there is no catch. So, one catch total. Everything I'm offering you here tonight, including this handsome voodoo coconut basket, is free. Not a string attached. I couldn't tie a single thread to this transaction if I tried. Even a modest 10% gratuity would trigger a sharp pain deep inside my bones. What do you call it? The marrow, I think. Yes, the marrow part would turn into boiling worms or something. It's happened several times, and let me assure you, it stings like you would not believe. And therein lies my tragic yet riveting backstory. Don't worry, here it comes. Here, let's add the staff. I'm going to step back and turn around and then pretend I'm seeing you for the first time with everything on. Okay, here we go.
Just skip it already.
Oh, that looks fantastic on you. I insist you abscond with the entire set.
Can you just shut up? I am enjoying this ASMR shit.
And as mentioned, put your money away. I will not, cannot, take a single solitary cent.
It was my mistake to give you control in this video.
As for that tale of woe I promised you, it's a doozy. A painful and frankly embarrassing memory for yours truly. In fact, I wouldn't burden you with it if I didn't technically have... Well, we'll get to that. Could I trouble you to crouch a moment, darling? Let me get this Morrigan's Fury on you and... There, snug as a button. Where was I? Ah, my tragic backstory, yes. Brace yourself for pathos. This one's going to pluck at the heartstrings a bit. Once upon a time, in a fantastical world, much unlike the grounded world of realism we live in now, I was a member of a famous adventuring party. We were fearless, brazen, reckless, foolhardy, and if you sense these superlatives becoming less positive and beginning to nudge toward an inevitable and spectacular downfall, don't worry, we're getting there. No, I wasn't the tank holding the front line or the marksman providing range support from behind. Could I get you to lift a leg, dear? Feel free to steady yourself on my back. I'm sturdy as an oak. There, that's the misery on. No, I was something even more important and even further back. The quartermaster. The logistical mastermind maintaining the party's battle readiness with my invaluable skills in procurement, repairs, and strategic rationing. Leading the charge from behind. Castles, caves, dungeons. There was no quest that was too much for us. No obstacle that... Well, I can see your eyes starting to wander, so let's cut to the chase. Obviously, there was a quest that was too much for us, so let's spill the tea and get to it. Let's get this Morgan's measure on you. These are real Austrivian swamp ostrich feathers, by the way. Or maybe it's Pelivian sky beaver. It's extinct anyway. Wandering back to my tragic tale, from the very start, nothing went right. Behind every door, skeletons. Behind every secret passage, skeletons. Inside every treasure chest, skeletons. There should obviously be some skeletons. It was a dungeon, after all. But the skeleton-to-square-foot ratio here was absurd. Then, half of the party melted into the unknowable shadows. And of course there were skeletons there too, so we heard a lot of screaming from the unknowable shadows. More skeletons arrived, obviously. Everything went absolutely fucking pear-shaped.
Okay, thank you. You did well. You did a great job, my man. Can you just please go out and give me a glass of water, maybe?
You're welcome, my man. Of course, of course.
Sheesh. Finally, he's out of my room. So let's continue. But then a mysterious darkness filled the dungeon. It trapped the whole party, but somehow Quartiro slipped away untouched. While the others called for help, our dear goat, or whatever he is, decided his tools and tonics were worth more than the lives of his companions. But then the boss of the dungeon found him. It seems the boss saw everything that happened. He looked Quartiro dead in the eyes and cursed him. And the curse? To give us the so-called worthy heroes, by gifting every armor set we desire from his arsenal. And now we end the story of Quartiro Curious, and we are ready to raise a headcanon alert. Okay, maybe two. There's the one that I like, and the one the community like. Anyway, let's start with mine. Well, my theory actually said that I think the adventuring party went into the Aghanim Labyrinth. And you might ask why? Well, it's because he started his story by saying,
Once upon a time, in a fantastical world, much unlike the grounded world of realism we live in now, I was a member of a famous adventuring party.
Which means he is from a different world. Let's stop for a moment to explain what is the Aghanim Labyrinth. Well, it's basically a place where Aghanim puts his magical creature in it. And it's basically an interdimensional magical zoo. And in the Aghanim Labyrinth, there is an area filled only with skeletons called an elegant ice dancer. And it's snowy. Anyway, the real issue with this theory that Aghanim doesn't have a thousand eye, as Quartiro described it.
By the end, it was just me and the boss monster of the dungeon. One of those vast, incomprehensible eldritch horror things. You know the type. Mouths where eyes should be and vice versa. I certainly wasn't going to fight the fucking thing. I was just heading for the door when it stopped me and glowered at me with 1,000 glowering eyeballs.
So maybe because it was all dark, he saw the shattered Aghanim scepter as 1,000 eyes. We don't know. And to me personally, like calling Aghanim as an eldritch boss, it just makes so much sense to me. But still, you should know that Valve doesn't care about Aghanim, and we will never know what happened with him and his continuum device. And Valve is a bit...
Hey, why did you close the door? You should talk about the second headcanon, my man. It's way better than this.
You're asking politely now since the door is shut. So on to the next headcanon, which we will start it the way we started the first one, on the same word that came out of Quartiro. When he said the grand world of realism we live in now, he basically broke the fourth wall. And he's talking to you, the viewer, the player, the nig. And to understand this headcanon, we need to go back to the Crownfall. Because everything that happened with Quartiro actually happened in the past in the Crownfall. From the skeleton dungeon to the boss of the dungeon to the guild that gives the adventurers their quests, all included in the Crownfall. In the Act 3, Pangolers tells Crystal Maiden that he is a licensed adventurer, and if you are asking about the boss monster, well, it also appeared in the Act 3 called
Ugnatu.
What is it called?
Ugnatu.
Croatian? Why do we think this is the boss monster? Because it matches what Quartiro said about it. Listen to this voice line.
He had me all wrong, of course, but He also had me wrapped up in his filthy tentacles at the bottom of his cave, so what was I supposed to do? At any rate, he cursed me.
And if you remember, in the Act 2, Axe and Dragonus and Centaur, they went into a volcano where skeletons lived there, and they thought it was a skeleton dungeon. Anyway, it's not that important. But they went there to get a flower that only grows in the Demon Lands. Back to our story. Well, maybe, and this is just a speculation, our adventuring party went into Icerak, into that skeleton dungeon, to get an item that belongs to the demon. And with that, we end the second headcanon. So, in order to make everything clear, we need to summarize the second headcanon. There is an adventuring party in the Frozen Realm. They went into a dungeon filled only with skeleton to get an item that belongs to the demon, and they got separated by the darkness, and Quartiro faced the final boss and he got cursed. But you might ask me, like, what is the thing that is so important that the adventuring party risk their life for that also belongs to the demons? Like, do we really have an answer? Actually, no. But do we have a hint? Well, maybe. In August 25, Valve released a loading screens.
Hey, open the door. Shlax made a video about it. Don't talk about it in full details, my man.
Why do you always ruin every... Really?
A small community of lore hunters had formed, and this is their story. Mostly. Also slightly edited for dramatic effect. August 25th, 2025. The Tyrian Plain, the creator of the Tyrian Plain lore map, discovers the letters up on the secret language in the wallpapers. His work is met with 2 thumbs up, one of which originates from Omar Z-Man, who says that they will watch TI in order to see the stage now, and the mysterious runes. The interest has become peak. Tyrian Plain...
How did I end up in the video? Guys, like, what can you do without me? Seriously.
Don't kick me, please.
But you absolutely did nothing.
Anyway, in case you didn't watch the video, Valve released a loading screen with the symbol or runes beside them. And for example, if we zoomed on Marcy, these symbols represent M-A-R-C-I. And the community took all these loading screens and all the other evidence, and they managed to find the alphabet of this mysterious language. And after that, they found some, let's call it, Easter eggs scattered across the stadium of the International 14. This Easter egg consists of Ice Frog was here, Nomad on Nomad suit, and much more. But the real challenge was the stone tablets. After so much work, the community found out that the hidden message in this stone tablet is connected to the description of the Mad Moon. And on the wiki, it just described the moment the Mad Moon cracked and the ancients fell on the earth. The world fell into temporary chaos. Though some took advantage of the situation, Obsidian, the demon smith, used this time to forge demonage from the raw material that fell. So we actually solve it? The demon smith is coming to Dota? I mean, yeah, maybe. And then the community talked about the cycles, which is represented by the star art, I guess, of the hero designs. And I guess it's a clock around the ages. Well, I really don't understand it. I don't think anyone does. And also by the repeated tone of the opening ceremony of the main theme of Dota. But still, if all of this meant something, and this is my personal opinion, by the way, and it points to the final scenario that I talked about in my last video. So go check it out, maybe you'll have fun. But still, there is one last thing to talk about. Did Bard and Quartiro once stand side by side in the same adventuring party? And will Bard tell the story from a different perspective? Will we ever know why the party went into the dungeon in the first place? Or is it a mystery Valve will keep it untold? Will the Demon Smith hold the key to the salvation of the ancients? Or is it merely a story to help us understand the demons more? I guess we will never know.